When you think about 2019, what's your biggest question as an investor?
My biggest question is, will value investing rise from the dead? As most of us, I think, are aware, growth has nicely outperformed value over the last, let's call it, a decade, not just a few months here and there, but quite a few years. FANG stocks are perhaps the most obvious examples of growth stocks that have really led the way. Obviously, we've had an extended bull market that tends to favor growth stocks. So my big question is, do we see a resurgence of interest in stocks that are considered value? Growth often does underperform in bear markets. If perhaps we are entering a bear market or going to see a sustained bear market, then one would expect value to come back into vogue. But you know what? We haven't seen it any time in recent past.
What about you, Jason?
Yeah, to me, we've talked a lot about Disney and their move to over-the-top distribution. They obviously own part of Hulu, which I think they've done a good job building out, especially with that live Hulu offering. ESPN Plus seems like it's gaining some traction, and now Disney Plus is going to be their service that launches sometime in 2019. And we talked before on the shows, but they really need to make sure they execute there, because I do think that is a compelling product. It's going to take a lot of content away from other streaming partners, namely Netflix. I find it interesting to see that really the shows on Netflix that garner the most views as a percentage are all shows that they're not Netflix shows, which I think is telling. I mean, Netflix is still having to put up a lot of money to get content that people want to see, and Netflix is not the one producing that content. So they still, I think, have a little ways to go in really succeeding on that original content front to justify all of that money that they're spending. And I think that Disney Plus is going to reemphasize, I think, the asset, the competitive advantage that they have there in that intellectual property. So I'm excited to see how that product arrives. I'm certain that we will at least be testing it in our house, if not becoming full-fledged subscribers, unless they just really drop the ball.
Well, and wasn't there sort of a minor freakout in the Netflix universe when they said they weren't going to renew the show Friends?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, but
in my household for sure.
And I mean, that is something that they at least need to pay attention to, because as a percentage of views, Friends is number 2 on the list, just behind The Office. But when you look at that list of the shows that are garnering the most views on Netflix, it really kind of takes you back. It's not a lot of their original content is on that list. Just tells you they still have a little ways to go.